What does a war-torn Horn of Africa nation have in common? With a nuclear-armed South Asian military powerhouse more than you think. Somalia, a country that has spent decades rebuilding from collapse, just made a bold military move, and the world is paying attention. They didn't turn to the United States. They didn't go to China directly. They didn't call Europe. They called Pakistan, and Pakistan answered with the JF-17 Thunder, one of the most talked about fighter jets in the developing world. Today, we are breaking down why Somalia made this choice, how the deal came together, and what it means to the region. Stay with me. This story goes deeper than you think. To understand why Somalia is buying fighter jets at all, you need to understand where they're coming from. For most of the 1990s and 2000s, Somalia had no functioning government, let alone an air force. The state collapsed in 1991, and what followed were decades of civil war, warlords, famine, and the rise of Al-Shabaab, the Al-Qaeda-linked militant group that still controls large parts of the country today. But things have been changing. The federal government of Somalia has been slowly, painfully rebuilding its institutions. They receive support from the African Union, the United States, Turkey, and the UAE. And as Al-Shabaab continues to carry out deadly attacks, Mogadishu has realized one critical truth. Ground forces alone aren't enough to take the fight to Al-Shabaab in remote terrain, to strike training camps, cut off supply lines, and project power. Somalia needs air power. Right now, Somalia has almost no combat aircraft. What little they have is aging and limited. So the government went shopping, and the question was who would sell to them at a price they could afford with favorable terms? That surge led them directly to Islamabad. Pakistan wasn't the obvious choice on paper, but when you dig into the details, it makes complete sense. First, the price point. The JF-17 Thunder is one of the most cost-effective fourth-generation fighter jets on the market today. While an American F-16 or a French Rafale can cost anywhere from $70 million to over $100 million per unit, the JF-17 comes in at a fraction of that. Estimates range from $25 to $35 million per aircraft, depending on the variant and package. For a rebuilding nation with a tight defense budget, that gap is massive. Second, no political strings. Western nations attach a long list of conditions to arms sales, human rights, benchmarks, and user agreements, congressional approvals. The United States especially has complicated its relationship with Somalia through years of inconsistent policy. Pakistan asks fewer political questions. It's a transactional relationship built on mutual benefit, and that suits Somalia's government just fine. Third, the Islamic solidarity factor. Both Somalia and Pakistan are Muslim-majority nations with deep ties to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. There's a diplomatic warmth there, a shared identity that makes negotiations smoother and trust easier to build. Fourth, Pakistan wants the export win. This is important. Pakistan has been working hard to establish the JF-17 as a credible export product. They've sold it to Myanmar. They've pitched it across Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. A deal with Somalia, even a small one, is a proof of concept. It puts the JF-17 on the map as a real option for developing militaries. Pakistan needs this deal as much as Somalia does. So what exactly is Somalia getting? The JF-17 Thunder, also called the FC-1. Shalong is a lightweight single-engine, multi-role combat aircraft developed jointly by Pakistan and China. Pakistan's aeronautical complex, PAC, builds it domestically in Kama, which also means Pakistan can offer maintenance, support, and spare parts more easily than Western suppliers. The Block 3 variant, the most advanced version, features an active electronically scanned array radar helmet-mounted display and targeting systems beyond visual range missile capability with the PL-15 and SD-10, aerial-to-ground precision strike capability, and aerial refueling compatibility. Now Somalia is unlikely to receive the full Block 3 package right away. Analysts suggest an initial deal would involve Block 1 or Block 2 variants. Still a massive upgrade from what Somalia currently operates, but even older JF-17s give Somalia genuine close air support capability against insurgent targets, exactly what they need against Al-Shabaab. The aircraft is also designed to be relatively easy to maintain, a critical factor for a country still developing its technical military infrastructure. So how exactly did this deal happen? The groundwork was laid through a series of high-level diplomatic visits between Somalia and Pakistan. In recent years, Pakistan's military has long maintained outreach programs across the Muslim world, training for and officers offering defense cooperation agreements and building relationships through institutions like the Pakistani military academies. Somalia's defense officials visited Islamabad and toured PACCOM, seeing production line firsthand. Pakistan offered not just jets, but a full defense package, pilot training, ground crew instruction, maintenance partnerships, and potentially even a deferred payment structure to ease Somalia's financial burden. There are also reports of third-party facilitation with Gulf states, particularly those with close ties to both Islamabad and Mogadishu, playing a quiet role in smoothing the financial arrangements. The UAE and Saudi Arabia have both invested in Somali stability and have strong military ties with Pakistan. It's possible that financing for this deal flows through those channels. The formal signing of any letter of intent or purchase agreement represents a watershed moment for Somalia's military modernization, signaling to the region and to Al-Shabaab that Mohu is serious about projecting power. This deal has ripple effects far beyond Somalia's borders. For Ethiopia, already in a tense relationship with Somalia, a Somali Air Force with jet fighters changes the regional military calculus. Addis Ababa will be watching closely. For Al-Shabaab, air power is a genuine threat multiplier. The group has survived largely because it can melt into rural and semi-urban terrain. Precision airstrikes, even from older JF-17 variants, could significantly disrupt their logistics and command structure. For Pakistan, this is a diplomatic and economic win. A successful export to an African nation opens doors across the continent. Other African militaries, Nigeria, Sudan, Chad, are watching. If the JF-17 proves itself in Somali skies, the order book could grow substantially. And for China, the co-developer of the JF-17 African military expansion deepens Beijing's strategic footprint through a proxy product without the diplomatic exposure of a direct arms sale. Somalia's choice to buy the JF-17 from Pakistan isn't just a defense procurement story. It's a story about how developing nations navigate a complicated world, finding partners who will work with them on terms they can afford without demanding the impossible. Whether these jets will turn the tide against Al-Shabaab remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: Somalia is rebuilding, and Pakistan just became part of that story. If you found this breakdown useful, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives into global military affairs. I'll see you in the next one.